Okay, peeps, welcome back. You know the deal, bonus video. So let's get into it. The topics for today is going to be NVIDIA earnings for Q2 and the Jackson Hole Symposium, which is going to take place on Friday. So I want to start with NVIDIA. Let's take a look at the earnings results from the most recent NVIDIA earnings. As you guys can see here on TradingView, they pretty much just destroyed earnings and revenue expectations to the upside. There was a beat on revenue by 2.32 billion or 20%. And there was a beat on earnings by 62 cents per share or about 30%. So what did the stock do? It pretty much just ripped and had a face melting gain to the upside. And then if you guys can see here, as I mentioned in a previous video, why I'm not buying NVIDIA at the top. Look at this big fat red candle here. This thing just fell off a cliff, retested support, and then pumped back to the upside. Now, as for what's going to happen tomorrow with NVIDIA on the open, I do expect NVIDIA to go higher, but it could sell off. We really don't know. The markets are just unpredictable. But to give you guys a measured move of how things worked out, so it was about a 4% pop on NVIDIA. I'm actually going to scroll over to my Webull account real quick so you guys can see what's going on here. So this was the most recent low on NVIDIA. It was about $20.15 a share. Ever since then, I mentioned in the 5 YieldMax funds or 4 YieldMax funds and Clip that were at deep discounts somewhere in these price areas. Now the price of NVIDIA has recovered pretty much almost back to my cost basis. I'm currently up $100 on the share. If I'm still up this much in the morning, I will be taking profit and repositioning myself back into NVIDIA next week because there's a rule called T2 where you basically have to wait the transaction day plus 2 days in order to be able to access those funds again. So I currently have 130 shares. I don't plan on accumulating any more until I see the price of NVIDIA pull back, which is why I've been focused on purchasing other things like Clip, Tesla, and OARC. So going back to NVIDIA here, if we go back up to the NVIDIA chart, you guys can see right here in the snapshot view that it was up 2.2% on the day. So the drop from the peak down to the lows was about 15%. But then the recovery from the lows back to the highs, or where it's at right now, is also about 15%, a little less than 14%. Where do I think NVIDIA and NVIDIA are going? I do think they're ultimately going higher. There's a few reasons why I say that. Number one, Tesla wants to purchase chips from NVIDIA to help power their cars. And with the whole AI narrative going on lately, the chips that are being manufactured and created specifically for AI and other needs like gaming, games, artificial intelligence, all the future technologies of the future. So space exploration, bionics, anti-aging, genetic sequencing, so on and so on. Artificial intelligence, digital avatars, you name it. Pretty much anything you can think of future technology-wise, NVIDIA is going to be a linchpin to. So every company on Earth, in my opinion, not financial advice, that is looking to buy shares from US-based chip makers is going to be buying from NVIDIA. So I do expect the price to go higher ultimately. However, I want to bring up a couple of things before we all get too bullish on NVIDIA. The first thing, remember guys, girls, we are in bearish seasonality right now. August and September are the most bearish months of the year. So NVIDIA could go down, or NVIDIA could go up and the stock market could go down. It happens all the time. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how things play out. Now, the second thing is that the Jackson Hole Symposium is going to be held this Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and Jerome Powell, the Fed chair of the Federal Reserve, will be speaking at that symposium. So let's take a look at the technical analysis for the last time that this happened. And just so you guys know, the Jackson Hole Symposium basically is like an economic forum where some of the world's most foremost leaders speak on current economic conditions on a yearly basis in, I believe it's Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's where that's at. So we're going to scroll back to the SPX, which the last time the Jackson Hole Symposium took place was in 2022. I have the links pulled up here. I'll leave it in the description so you guys can take a look at them for yourself. This is the Jackson Hole Symposium released for August of 2022. Funny enough that these Jackson Hole meetings should pop up during the most bearish times of the year, right? Seems like coincidence. But if we scroll down here, so let's see, this was posted August 25th. And you got day one, the head of the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. And then you got this guy, and here's Jerome Powell, the chairman, the Fed chairman of the Federal Reserve of the United States of America. So this is the guy that people would have been watching during that week, and the markets would have been watching to see what was going to be said and how the markets reacted. So this would have been Friday, which would have been August 26th. Now, if we go back to August 26th in 2022, let's actually scroll back to the weekly here. I think the weekly would probably show some more significance. Just got to find it real quick. Give me a second. So, okay, maybe not. Hold on just 1 second. So I'm going to try to find this thing. See here, August. Oh, here we go. August 26th. So take a look at this day right here. So leading into this thing, the markets are going up, 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 up. You got all this bullish action in July, August, right? And then the market starts selling off in anticipation of the Jackson Hole meeting. And on this day, Fed Chair Powell came out, and the markets didn't really like what he had to say. So they sold off about 3.5% to 4% in a single day. So what exactly am I looking for on Thursdays, or Friday? I mean, it takes place on Fridays. So what I'm looking for on Friday is basically at the market closes reaction to Jerome Powell's speech. How is the market going to react to it? Is it going to go down or is it going to go up? If it goes up, then my suspicion is the markets like what Fed Chair Powell had to say. If it goes down, then they don't like it. And there is the potential that if he comes out and says something really hawkish and the markets don't like it and they sell off, what could ultimately happen is the markets could just sell off for the rest of August and September, which could kill the momentum of NVIDIA's stock price going up. And NVIDIA ultimately, I don't know. It could just go higher. Maybe Powell comes out and says, hey, we think that we don't have to tighten as much. We're just going to hold rates for longer until inflation comes down to 2% or something like that. And maybe the markets like it and they go up and then we shoot off to all-time highs. Really don't know. But Jerome Powell is such a powerful man that he could literally set the precedence for the sentiment in the markets for the rest of the entire year, all the way through December. So we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. I'm not sure what to think of what the meeting is going to be like. Last year was unpredictable too. Markets really don't know. The only thing that I can say is based on a previous video I made that the Fed meeting minutes when they came out, they were still hawkish. So perhaps that's still going to be the theme going into this symposium. We'll just have to wait and see. But either way, I'll leave the links in the description for you guys below. And the last point I want to make is that if the share price of NVIDIA goes up into the next X dividend date for NVIDIA, I do expect the distribution for NVIDIA to go up. Again, not financial advice. It could stay the same or go down. Really don't know. But based on historical data, when the price goes up, the distribution goes up. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all later. Peace.